everyone, and welcome to the Industry Show. My name is James Winborn, and I am here today with Phillip and Fernando. What's up, y'all?
What's good, man?
Thank y'all for being my guests, man.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to have y'all here. So I always like to start with the story about how did y'all get into acting? So whoever wants to go first, tell me. Y'all both pointing at each other, right? Hey, thanks.
Dang. All right.
We'll start with you, Fernando.
I got into acting, I guess you can say out of curiosity. I've always been very artsy with sketching and painting. I took a break off of that, and I needed something to exercise my creative mindset, my creative side. And I think a lot of bad movies left me with the question of, why is this movie bad? I think I could have done better. And I don't say that to toot my own horn on anything, but it led me into a curious path, and I just went ahead and like, all right, well, how are people doing this? How can you become an actor? What's the process that everyone else is following?
Right.
And I did that. I started looking online, started reading, started asking questions, and then came to find out people were starting on college films, and then I started going inquiring about college films and doing that route, building up a tape, and then I loved it, man. It was just another way that I could exercise that creative part of me, and I fell in love with it ever since. And I understand the importance of doing it for the craft.
A lot of people use acting as a form of therapy too.
Yeah.
You know, it gets them to release a lot of anger or whatever it could be that's built up inside them. People turn to acting for that. And that's a great tool. What about you, Phil? How did you start?
Well, I'm similar. I'm always using creativity in my job. Before I became an actor, and I still am a website designer, so I create for a living. And I was talking to a friend about movies that we liked, and I was like, man, I wish I was handsome enough to get into a movie. And then here we are. No, and I said, she was like, why? Why not? So then I thought about it, and then I put out and searched on Facebook for casting calls, and there was a casting call for a woman actress, and I was like, well, let me submit anyway. I said, I'm not a woman, but I would love to be in a movie if you have a part for a guy. And then she was like, oh my God, we need guys so bad, please come on down.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, oh, cool. So I was like, I took a chance, because as a businessman, I'm an aggressive guy, so just in acting, I'm aggressive too. I apply for a lot. I'm always looking at casting calls, always trying to meet people, networking, everything.
Yeah, it's important in this industry. It's definitely networking. Yeah. So I wanted to hear a story about y'all first time on set. Do y'all remember that? And what was that like? What's the first thing you did, Fernando?
I was an extra as a
that
security.
Counts. It definitely counts. Yeah.
I was an extra for a student film on as a security guard. And for the first time in my life, I'm like, what do I do?
Right.
What do I do? And I felt like I did everything wrong. Like I rewatched the tape. No matter what I thought at that time, it didn't shake away that first time cringy feeling that you always get when you see
right.
someone get it. But yeah, that was the first time I was on a set, and it was quite the experience because I was just nervous. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I felt stupid, but the more I did it, the more I was like, all right, well, if they're not saying anything, if they're not complaining, then I did something right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your first time? What's that like?
My first time was on set was on this movie for BET Plus called So Fly Christmas. So I was an extra on So Fly Christmas with
y'all both started as extras.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob C. Riley was on it, and Tammy Roman, she was in it, and the scene where they meet and fall in, their meet cute. I was in the background for that. It was amazing. I sat with the producer. He had a cameo.
Oh yeah.
We were sitting there.
How he get a role? You did, right?
I know, right? And we had to sit there, act like we were drinking, act like we were talking, but it had to be silent and everything. And I saw everybody running around, makeup and props and everything. It was fantastic.
So you got to see all that stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, never forget it.
So your first time having lines, what was that about?
Ooh.
Because y'all, neither one of y'all, if I'm correct, didn't go to film school or anything like that, any type of training, right? Y'all was this is like something y'all just wanted to try out.
Correct.
So when you heard lines for the first time, what was that? Was that a really nervousness, or was it? How was that? What was that feeling like?
The first time I had lines was recent. We're on a big screen. I mean, on a big set. Like on the smaller sets and the independent sets is a little different. But in the big set, I did a movie with I can't remember the guy's name. Coates. I forgot his first name. Joshua Coates. Okay. So we did. Gave me a small role or a role with a few lines, and I was opposite Jeffrey Owens, the guy from
Cosby.
Yeah. So we had the dialogue back
Elvin.
and forth. It was fantastic. Elvin he's the man.
Yeah.
So he had his stuff locked in, and I had to play a pastor, so I had like a church robe. Church hat and everything, and it was amazing. Just being there with him, feeling his energy, feeding off of him, and we did a couple takes. he convinced the guy to give me an extra line. So
Okay.
I was in heaven.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Fernando,
awesome.
what you?
Me, it was it for a project on Drexel. I was
Mm-hmm.
a comic book shop owner, and I again same feeling. I'm like, what am I doing?
Right,
I don't know what I'm
right.
doing. But it humbled me because it put me in a perspective like, well, if I'm not gonna go the traditional route, go to school, go to
Right.
classes,
Yeah.
what can I do?
Right, right.
So I did what I hate to use an athletic analogy, but I looked at the tapes, and when I look at the tapes,
Right, right.
who do I admire now? Who do I like as an actor?
Mm-hmm.
Whose personality can I say that? I don't want to say that it's identical, but kind of matches. That I can see me pulling off that kind of energy.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of Jake Gyllenhaal, a lot of Tom Hardy and stuff like that moving forward, just to see the versatility in some of the independent films that they did.
Right.
And I just started watching a lot of stuff like that.
Okay.
And even interviews. If you watch interviews of how certain people prep for a role, that also helps out a lot.
Oh yeah, it does. Absolutely. So how do y'all handle rejection or tough auditions?
Oh,
We just had this conversation.
yes.
Oh, y'all
we just
did?
talked
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this.
Because we were talking about like getting roles and things that we
Yeah.
want to pursue, or certain type of character we want to chase after or get into. And when we go into these auditions, whether big or small, low budget, no budget, big budget, I came to a realization that my version of that character might not be for that project. And I'm
Right.
okay with that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'm asking a girl out for a dance and she says no.
Right.
She-
Right.
But it's just one of those things like, all right, man, I get it. And then sometimes when I see the project, I'm like, oh, I definitely get it. I wouldn't have been able to produce that version of that at all. And it humbled me a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I try not to take it personal, because you don't know why they didn't pick you. They may want somebody tall, or I don't have hair, so they may want somebody with
Right.
some waves or something. Like, because when you get the description for the audition, sometimes it's so vague. Like, you're like, what do I do with this? They give you like a small breakdown. They give you a little bit of the script. You don't have all the motivation. You don't know everything that's going on, so you just kind of go in blind. So you can't. I can't take it personal if they don't choose me. I just do my best and move on to the next one. I do so many of them. Like, just like he was saying, our agents send us stuff and we find stuff on our own. Like, I don't have time to feel bad that I didn't get it.
So when you're turned down for a role coming through audition, does it make you question yourself? Like, this is the right thing I'm doing? Does it doubt you? Does you have doubts after that? Especially if you get a lot back-to-back rejections.
I mean, I think the thing about this game is that you'll never know if you got rejected or not. That's the thing. So like that.
Well, if they don't call you.
If they don't call you,
Well, then you know.
but you get used to that because that's
Yeah.
part of the game. And I do see what you're saying. Like it does get to a point that you're asking yourself, like, well, why am I not getting called back?
Right.
Why am I not doing this? And I know a lot of part of it has to do with timing. I know sometimes they'll put it out. Maybe there's an hour. They'll say like 48 hours or 4 days.
Right.
But
Before
the real window is maybe 4 hours. Like, and that's just, they'll say 24 hours, but like realistically, if they have somebody A that they're looking for, or B, like, all right, man, the top 5 in the next 3 hours, that's where we're going to go with.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, that's their decision.
I've been in auditions and I know. I mean, hosting them and I know.
Oh, wow.
When they leave that room, I know.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Oh, you know right away?
Yeah, you know right away. Yeah, because you know what you're looking for.
Okay.
And if you don't see that in an audition, then it's not. I'm not calling you back. I didn't see it.
And another thing I take into consideration with the audition, especially if it's not something that I'm typecast for, because we all been typecast. We all still are being typecast.
Yeah.
But if it's something that I never did before, I would just take that opportunity and be like, you know what? I'm going to play with this. I'm going to see how I feel doing this. I'm
Right.
just going to throw it in the ether.
Uncomfortable.
And then that way, if it does come again, I can go off of a version of
Absolutely.
this. Because if this one obviously didn't work, maybe if I tweak it or play around with it the next time, it might work. for
Yup.
something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the. So what is your process for improving your craft? Do y'all go to schools for like training, like acting school or?
I'm not in acting class right now,
Classes.
but I do. I did participate in Nakia Dillard's class. He had a master class. So I was a part of that. It was a bunch of seminars. You get to talk to casting agents, actual actors. That's why I
Okay.
talked to Jeffrey as well. And answers all your questions and all that. And I use Nakia as often as possible. I send him a
Right.
quick message if I have a question. Sometimes he gets
So
back
do
to me.
I, and I'm not
He's
even an
great.
actor.
He's great.
Yeah, he's a great
awesome.
guy. Yeah.
And but I try to get better at memorizing lines. So I did a couple monologues. I do stuff on my own just to stay sharp. I analyze movies as I'm watching them a lot of times just to
Right.
see,
Oh yeah.
you know,
I
the
can't stop
shots.
that. Yeah.
Like you
I
say, oh,
can.
that shot's creative.
I
or,
can't get away from that. Yeah.
it's crazy how some shots they'll stay on the character for like you know a minute or 2 minutes, like straight talking, like versus sometimes you see it flip back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
So I think that's pretty cool. Just
Does
see how
that
it
make
is.
you want to direct?
No,
You still don't want to direct? You know,
I want to be in front of the camera. I don't wanna
you don't want to be a
behind.
director?
No,
What about
it's
you? You ever want to
nerve-wracking.
direct?
Down the line, only because I've delved so much into the acting part of being creative,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that right now as a watcher, directing seems so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also another version of creativity that I have even yet to tap into.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
It's more than just recording.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
more than cinematography.
Mhm.
It's how you're gonna tell this story,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's important because directors have such a unique vision to a story,
Mm-hmm.
and when they execute it properly, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I'm not watching a movie; I'm watching art, and I love
Yeah.
walking away with that
I
feeling.
love that. I love that line. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And directors take so much patience, man. I'll be on set. I'm on set, and I'm like, "How many times are you going to do this?"
Right, yeah,
Director
it's a
says one more
lot.
time, or he says, "All right, we got it." Oh, you know we got to do it one more time. But let's flip it and do it from another angle. It's like, oh my god.
No, man, the worst is when they say, "Oh my God, that was so great." But look at this. They killed it. One more time.
One more time.
I'm
Right.
like, damn, bro. You tell me we killed it.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, it's.
exactly.
I try not to do a lot of takes on when I'm directing too, but
Kyle, that was a shot to you. Kyle.
yeah,
was a shot
you
to
calling
you,
Kyle out.
No, I love you, bro.
Kyle gonna shoot you. He gonna grind you up for here and there. But, no, that's my man. That's my man. But no, but it's always a reason why directors do that. Of course, you know, it's a vision. You know, and if we feel as though you could do it better, even though you may have loved it, let's do it again. Because I think I can get a little bit more out of you. You know, so
Man, I understand that concept because I did a film with Luke Allen and Levita, and we were doing like a nice little fight with choreography in there, and we rehearsed it several times. I'm supposed to do a couple of hits, take a couple of hits, trip backwards.
right.
When we ran it, I didn't realize that there was a log so close to my foot because I was preparing myself to fall backwards for that log.
Right.
We ran it so quick and so efficiently that I didn't time it backwards. And by the time she went for the big kick, my heels were already at the log.
Okay.
As soon as she went for the kick, it wasn't like I was putting my foot back to fall back. My feet were at a dead stop. So all that force she gave me into my abdomen catapulted me backwards.
Wow.
And I completely flipped over that log like it was a flip.
Oh wow.
And I didn't roll over. I flipped it, and my back just landed on the ground. And then I rolled over, but then I put my head down because I'm laughing. So they're still fighting, they're still going, but then they call cut, but when it happened, I hear the silence. And then I'm laughing. As soon as they call cut, I'm like, did y'all get the shot?
Right.
Did you get the
shot? Right.
They're like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't care. Did you get the shot? They're like, yeah. I'm like, then I'm okay.
Right,
I'm
right.
good. Because I did fall hard. I did fall
Right.
really, really hard. And I wouldn't have cared as long as we got the shot. And they used it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Too.
dope.
You do
That's
stunts. That's awesome.
yeah. You
man.
do stunt man.
great.
It's my first stunt man I had on the show. So congratulations.
No, I never did that before. That's cool.
It's hard work.
Yeah, Levita does a lot of good like martial arts and stuff
yeah.
on the set. Yeah, so
Okay.
I know you said that now. I know you was in what was involved in that one. So how much are involvement of y'all in shaping your character's backstory, if it's not told to you in advance? Because that's challenging.
It is challenging. I ask questions, honestly, especially with the person who wrote it or the director. I build off of my idea, but based off of their feedback. So if it's not brought up to me, but I'm interpreting my lines and interpreting, like I'll give you an example. I was recently at New York for a week to do a developmental stage play, and usually that takes months. We had to crunch it down in 7 days.
Okay.
And as we were doing that, again, I'm asking questions about my character. And as I'm asking questions about my character, they give us time at the end to ask questions for clarity. And I did. And I told them, like, hey, I think for my character to better approach what you're looking for, maybe we can incorporate X, Y, Z instead. I'm like, this person's anger has to stem from somewhere. And then, especially if you want to deliver his irony in the situation of the story that you're telling.
Right.
So, once I was able to get a little bit more clarity on that, it gave me a little bit more defined purpose to portray my character.
Okay. So it definitely helped you out.
Oh yeah, asking
for sure.
questions. Asking questions is important,
Mhm.
especially when you don't know. And then feedback, especially if they're not if they're not communicating with you, if they just tell you, hey, we'll go with whatever you think is best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, well now I got to build this. I got to build this from scratch now.
Right.
And then feedback from your peers, especially if you trust their opinion, is also crucial too.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to lean on my castmates as much as possible. So in the film that I have going with you, hopefully in the next couple of weeks,
Mhm.
I'm reaching out to Keita to get some backstory for us because we're playing a married couple.
Right,
So we're
right.
supposed to be running lines,
Mhm.
and I wanted to get some chemistry going with her just so we can kind of feel comfortable talking to each other.
And look natural on set too. Yeah, that's
exactly,
important.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. I try to do it as organically as possible,
Mm.
and then if I have to tap into my imagination, I'll do that too.
Yeah, because I know it can be very challenging for y'all, for actors, working with people you don't know
Yeah.
at all, and you
Yeah.
have to play these roles as husband and wife.
Mhm.
Because when you watch a film, you want it to look like they're really a married couple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't want to be fake about it, right? So,
Right.
so that backstory is important. You having conversations with directors, like you said, or doing workshops. That's important.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot to getting that right, because it's all to make it come out good at the end.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, what's the hardest scene y'all ever had to shoot?
Hardest scene.
Probably need to take a commercial now, right? What is the hardest scene y'all had to shoot?
Hard scenes.
I think I'm gonna need a little bit more context. I think the hard depends on what it is. I guess,
Well,
but if we want to generalize it.
yeah, let's generalize it for sake of time.
I would have to say the hardest film that I did, it was with Redemption 46. It was when we did Cobwebs. And just to simplify why it was hard, it was I believed in the vision and I wanted to deliver on that vision.
Mm-hmm.
And just delivering on that vision and giving it my best effort. And the same thing with everybody else that was on there was exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't say that in a bad way. It was exhausting because we all put our best effort into it, and it like down to the fight scenes, the acting, the choreography, creating our characters' costumes, all that. It was tough because I think and the only reason why I'm saying it was hard is because it was the most involved. I was responsible for being for a character,
Right.
and that's why for me it was hard because I'm like, damn, I've never had to be responsible for something like this.
Right.
So usually it's all set out. I get direction. They say, hey, do this, this, and that. Wear this, this, and that. Cool, whatever. But this is the first time I had to like really dive into my character. And then there was other responsibilities that had to be filled in to make the vision work, like doing additional covered up stuntman to fill in for like a fighting scene, and then doing another choreography for that, and then doing another choreography for a different fight for this.
Yeah.
And then it was, like I said, it was the most involved I've ever had to have been, and that's the only reason why it was hard, but hard in a good way.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, and I agree. Hard in a good way because I can't think of stuff that I've done that's hard, like difficult. It's all been so fun, just to imagine to be somebody else. But I will say that probably the toughest one that I've had to do was a big monologue that I had to do. I got hired to do a monologue for this book release. It was in November of this year, so last month, and it was 4 pages, but we broke it down into paragraphs. And I had a little cheat sheet, because they had some props and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
But I had to perform this 4-page monologue. It was 16 paragraphs, but I could fudge it a little bit here and there. And I rehearsed it a million times in front of the producer guy, and it came out good. I did miss some stuff for sure.
I'm quite sure, yeah.
But I got the general feel of what he was trying to get going because he was trying to display this book character before as he was selling books. So not just have books here, but have like people portraying who the characters are in the book.
Okay.
So that's what my monologue was about. And it was about the Montgomery bus boycotts. So something I totally have nothing to do with. I
Right.
can't identify with it. Last time I was on a bus,
Those
I
are
can't
parts.
remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I had to mention her in the monologue.
Right.
So it was tough for her, but because it's memorization, but still fun though. I had to wear a wig. I had a costume and a vest that was like a shoe cobbler.
Oh, okay.
So it was very interesting, but fun as much as it was hard.
Okay. So your answer kind of lead me into my next question is what is rehearsal like for y'all by yourself? So I always had the vision of standing in front of the mirror and just saying your lines, right? So what are your process? Some of the things y'all go through when y'all try to rehearse and remember lines by yourself. What is that like?
First of all, I apologize to everyone in my house saying, if you hear me talking to myself,
This work, baby. This work.
or even if I'm working my part time and I'm doing what I'm doing, like if I'm mumbling to myself, I'm just trying to
Realize.
I'm studying for something. But no, even when
great.
I did study, I read this on Reddit one day, and it seemed to just work for me. Studying for my professional life as outside of acting, study out loud with intent. Or read with purpose out loud. And I read that, and I started doing that like with my notes and with my flashcards, and I memorized a little bit better. And I'm like, let me try this with my lines. I started reading my lines out loud and started doing it with a purpose, even if it wasn't the way I wanted to portray it. But
As if you were actually being recorded.
yeah,
Right.
or if I was like to do it with a fake voice, if I'm like, all right, let me do it with like a not a vibrato, but like very robust, like, and today we are going, like, just messing around with it and just do the lines differently every other way.
Okay.
And then how I end it to make sure I did memorize it. This is gonna sound silly. To make sure I did memorize it, I would take a shower and then I would read my lines in the shower from beginning to end.
Okay.
And then I'll start from the last monologue. 'Cause sometimes broken up. I'll start from the last and then do it backwards. And if I can do it backwards, I'm like, okay, I got my lines. Let me work on the character's personality and his mannerism now. Because I try to lock down the words first before I even lock down my character.
Oh wow.
So then now that I'm done taking a shower, I memorized my lines. I go back and I try different versions. See what tone works. See what shoulder shrugs works. What walk works. What strut works.
Okay.
Like, I see what works.
I love it.
I record it back and I'm like, I like that one. This is the one that I like. Down to tone and how I'm speaking. I'm like, yeah, I like
All
that.
right, so let me quickly stop you. So you do all that, you get on set, and he's like, I ain't doing it that way. So,
Well, I
Did that ever happen?
audition, so now I'm getting paid for your direction.
Oh,
now.
right,
So
right.
now I gotta do whatever you want now.
right.
So if I did it all wrong, that was for free.
What's your
awesome,
process
man.
like,
I'm
Phil?
learning from you, man.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome work.
Yeah.
So I would say in the beginning, I was just winging it like crazy,
Yeah.
just winging it, just memorizing and just coming to set and winging it. But now, I do have a partner that I rehearse things with. My friend Andrea, she's really cool, and her husband. They let me come over to the house, and they have a space with a nice white wall, and we rehearse lines back and forth.
That's good.
That's where I do some of my self tapes because I can't hold the camera and act. And hold the
Yeah,
script
right.
at the same
It's a
time.
process to that too, right?
You know, she helps me out a lot, but yeah, that's what I do. I do have a helper with that, and then she helps me make sure that I didn't miss a line, or we'll do it 10 times before we submit it and stuff
Right.
like that. But I need to adopt his process. and do
Yeah,
it
that's
backwards.
interesting.
thought of
I
doing
never
it
heard of
backwards.
that.
Listen, man, or you can always just meet up with me. We can get
Let's do
an
it,
audition
man.
tape done, and I give you some directions. too.
Yeah,
There we go.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I want to say to you, Phil, I know you're new in this game. You're
Yeah.
doing a tremendous job. Like
Thank you,
I'm
thank you.
seeing your growth earlier. I mean, you're a part of my web series too, but I'm
Right.
seeing it. So
It's going
cheering
great.
you on, man. You're doing good.
Loving
And-
it, loving it.
All right, I ain't got to say enough about you. This guy right here is a killer on Phil. Great job for you too. But so let me ask you all a fun question. If you could play any character in film history, who would it be? Anybody.
Like
Like if you saw somebody too that I could do that.
Oh, like that,
who?
okay,
Yeah, if you
okay.
had, who would it be? Any character.
I can't think of a specific character, but I was telling him outside before we started, I want to play a bad guy. I'm always the nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
The dad, the doctor, the lawyer, the detective. I'm always a good guy. I want to play a bad guy. Not necessarily a rough and tumble thug guy, because I don't think I could pull that off. But I do. Well, maybe I could. I want to play a double crosser. Where they think I'm
backstabber.
nice.
Yeah,
Yes, I want to do that
backstabber.
real bad. Where I'm just, and they're like, oh my God, like I want that role real bad.
yeah, as much as I want to do the that Oxygen Network, loving father, loving husband role.
Lifetime or something,
there's-
right? Yeah.
There's just something fulfilling about playing someone evil.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be a part of all the 90 remakes that they're coming out with. Like, they just announced Demolition Man. I would love to be a
shoot,
part
they're
of
doing
it.
Oh, they are? Oh, well,
Yeah.
Wesley, you know? Oh, really?
Wesley's coming back, and so is Sylvester Stallone. I would love to be a part of that
Wow.
because I remember explaining to my son that Jingle All the Way is my favorite Christmas movie, and it's only because Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it. My wife is like, "Well, you only like this movie because Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it." I was like, "You don't understand what little Fernando went through when he saw Arnold Schwarzenegger
Right.
in in Jingle All the Way.
Mhm.
I've seen this man mow down police officers as a
Yes.
terminating robot.
Terminator, yep.
I've seen him as the Barbarian King in
Yep.
Conan the Barbarian.
Mhm.
I've seen this man in Predator take down an alien, and out of nowhere, this man is a loving father,
Yeah.
the coolest dad in the
Yep.
world.
Right.
He's Turbo Man. I
Mhm.
was like, imagine what 8-year-old me is going through
Mhm.
in my brain. It's insane. And just to see that kind of, I love it. I love it. That's why when you see the guy who played, excuse me for not remembering his name, Walter White from Breaking Bad.
Mhm.
He was the Sunday dinner family dad for
Right.
every show.
Mhm.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Yep.
And he did Breaking Bad, which is
Yeah.
a masterpiece.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So I hope y'all get to accomplish your goals here.
Well, yeah, for
I got,
sure.
I got a lot
Sure.
that y'all wishing for here. So how do y'all stay motivated when it gets tough out here in the industry, when the phones are not ringing and you don't see casting calls? Does it get discouraging, like this industry, or?
You gotta have a thick skin. I
Mhm.
mean, you have to. I tell everybody I apply a lot. You'll see me put that on my social. I'm always applying. I'm always, because you just never know. You may get 3 roles in a row. You may get 0 roles in 3 months. It's very in a sense it's fickle. As good as you can be, you still may not choose you. So I just keep pushing, man. I just keep pushing.
Right.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same thing. And it's just one of those things that I've drilled in my mindset for everything I do. I only fail if I stop. And I'm only
Right.
I'm not gaining any progress if I'm being inconsistent. So I try to be as consistent as I can, like no matter what.
Mhm.
So even if I slow down, I'm slowing down. I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
And I'm content with that because I know once it was like I was telling him outside. I'm like, once I make myself available, like that's it. People are gonna be, like hit me up because they know I'm available. It's not about like I'm that good or I'm that, but they know they got a body they can count on. If
Right.
they need somebody to show up last minute. Boom, I got somebody.
Yep.
Right.
And I can't commit to that yet. That's why right now I just stick to a lot of stuff like whatever my agent sends me, or if I just casually pursue it. Like you hit me up, and I'm like, yeah, Jimmy, I'll do it.
Right.
And Lavita hit me up with the same thing. She just hit me up. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
Right.
But I just try to tell myself as long as I don't stop, I'm not failing.
Yeah. Cause it's like when you hear people in school, like they'll take some semesters off and they never go back.
Right, right.
That's why I say you stop. You gotta be committed to it. You gotta stop for, family comes first. If it's something like that. But if you really want to do something, you gotta go back. You gotta be strong enough to go back.
And not only that, like if you do choose to stop, you have to be okay with that decision. You just do, because then what? You go back into it to then fall into the same thing and
Right.
be miserable again.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be okay with it.
Yeah.
Or you have to make the changes.
Yeah. So what has been the most valuable lesson that y'all learned throughout your acting career so far? We will end it on that.
For me, it's just to make the most of it. Just enjoy every experience, because so many people want to do what you do. Like people say, man, I saw you on such and such, and how can I do that? People always
I
ask
can
me,
do that. Yeah.
how can I get involved, or how can I do? Can you bring me on set and all this stuff? So people want to do what you do, but I do it just because I like it. It's fun, and I want to make the absolute most of it. I love meeting people like you and you, all the different people we meet, pictures, and the different sets we're on. I've been on some amazing sets, like
Right.
places I would never be in real life. Just experiencing it. Now that we have this phone in our hands, we can capture it and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Capture
just
your
really
phone,
enjoy it, and I just discovered that iPhone makes little movies out of your
Right.
little stuff, and you can share it with your friends and stuff. It's just fantastic. So I just want to make the most of it, man.
All right. What about you, Fernando?
It's hard. That question is really hard
Yeah.
because I feel like I'm still learning. I feel like I'm still learning so much. But me personally, the thing that it taught me so much is always bring your best attitude. That's just me personally. Everywhere I've been, everywhere I went, I just felt like I had to bring my best attitude because it doesn't matter how the room is, because at the end of the day, it's going to reflect on you.
Right.
Things could be going absolutely wrong. They can be like, but you know what, man, Cassandra was cool. She was chilling the whole time. She helped out where she needed to. She had her best attitude the whole time. That's just me. I'd rather know that I had the best attitude in the best situation.
All right, cool. Well, I thank y'all so much for being my guest today.
No question, man. Anytime.
Phil and Fernando, they're definitely up and coming in this business here in the city of Philadelphia and in the independent acting world. Y'all stay tuned for watching these two gentlemen, and I thank y'all for tuning in today. I am James Winborn, your host, and stay tuned.